Yo, what is going on, everybody, man? Good to see everybody in the chat. What's happening, people? Arsenal beat Southampton 3-0, and we're here to talk about it, guys. Let me just finish off doing some audio right now. And how are you guys doing, man? It has been a crazy, crazy, crazy weekend. And boy, I'm telling you, man, it's it's just one of those things that we've got to live with. And I'm talking about the F1. You know what I'm saying right now. It's just one of those things which has just gone crazy. And we just have to live with it. But I'm sure that's going to be a conversation for another time. I'm sure that that's something that we're going to have to ponder over. But how are you guys doing anyway? The big thing is Arsenal have won their game against Southampton, and it was a much-needed victory. It was a much-needed confidence booster going into West Ham, and we're going to talk about it. If you're in the chat, say what's up, people, and give me a holler. I got my guy here, Neomis. What's going on, Neomis?
I'm good. So I'm enjoying the weekend, at least what's left of it. But I'm very good. What about you, man? I know the weekend hasn't been good for you. I saw that post.
Today has just been an awful day. I mean, I just can't even comprehend the day that I've gone through. It's just been a real crappy, shitty day. And to top it off, after the F1, I switched over to watch the Redskins Cowboys, and we went 18-0 down. And I must have thrown something. I don't know what it was. It might have been my slipper or something. And I just said, I'm done. And I was so demotivated that I kind of had to do this stream just to talk about something nice for today. You know, just to talk about something nice, man.
Oh, well, definitely. Listen, I think every Arsenal fan should have enjoyed the game. Was it yesterday? It was what was needed, and we did what we needed to do, and we should all be happy.
Yeah, Tony is saying a big shout out. Tony, the link if you want to join this is in the chat. Sorry, I put it in the wrong one, so you guys didn't get it in advance. But we're just here to do the player ratings for the Southampton game. But big shout out to 18. What's going on, 18? Big shout out to Mr. Bungle. Bungle saying Uber gets a 0. Big shout out to Kuke. What's going on, bro? And obviously, big shout out to Tony. So before I get into the player ratings, I just want to see what those guys, you guys who are on the channel, are talking about with the polls. I've set a whole heap of polls up, and I just wanted to talk about a few of them to get you guys' thoughts of what is actually going on. Hey, everybody on Facebook. I actually haven't done a Twitter link today because I've just been so pissed off. I just completely forgot to put a Twitter link up. So really sorry about that. I'll have to do that afterwards. But the bottom line is, guys, is, it's just, let's just take what we can out of this and say it's been a good weekend for at least Arsenal. I think that's the saving grace. Yeah. That's definitely the saving grace. Because, after we went 18-0 down against the Cowboys, I didn't even look back at what was going on. I just said, I'm done. I can't be dealing with that today right now, man. I can't be dealing with it. So
it'll get better. It'll get better, man.
Yeah, for real. So, guys, I think there's some guys on Facebook that are sending me a message saying that they've got a problem with the Facebook stream. But don't worry about that, guys. Jump onto YouTube, and then we can all find out what's going on here. So, at the top here, I've put in, who is Arsenal's best holding midfielder? And, it's a real crazy one. Nearly 50% of our guys are saying Sambi's our best midfielder, and the stats definitely do back that up.
I'd agree with that. I can't lie about that.
Yeah, and they've even gone, even though Partey's not been in great form, they've still said Partey 30%. They've said Niles 15%.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Xhaka 9% of the vote, El Nene 1%.
The disrespect El Nene is getting with 1%. I mean, him and Xhaka have to trade places. Because we will get into Xhaka later on. But God. Oh.
Yeah, because I kind of leave that to you lot to do the Xhaka ratings, man. I don't even try and touch that. But one of the guys in the forum, actually, which is Greg, G sent out a post that said the BBC did a player ratings. They do player ratings for every game, and he posted up on the forum that Xhaka had the lowest score in the team, even lower than Pepe, who had only been on the field for 5 or 6 minutes. I mean,
the thing is, right, it's not like he's actually doing anything bad. It's more about the balance of the midfield and just his ability to be able to execute that. He just doesn't have the skill set. Like, I mean, like, forget being negative about it. He just doesn't have the skill set with Partey next to him to be able to be competent in this midfield. And like, I know later on we're going to talk about it, but we got away with it against Southampton. Against better sides, I don't like that pairing in midfield.
I personally think they're going to get overrun on Wednesday, but that's just my opinion. They could shock us. They could surprise us.
Yeah.
Tony, what's going on, Tony? What's happening?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
I'm not good today, man. I'm not good today, bro. I forgot to ask you lot how the Dolphins was getting on. I just completely shut off the NFL when I saw us getting blasted by the Cowboys. So
it's a bye week for us, mate.
Yeah.
We're watching everybody else this week.
I think it's next Saturday that we play.
Yeah, we're up against the Jets next week at home.
I wish I was in your shoes, man. Oh, man.
But they came back, though. Position. I mean, it was close in the end. It was, what, 20-27? Sorry if you didn't want to know the score, but...
Yeah, I didn't. I just checked out. After 18-0 down, I was like, you can't do that to me after what I went through with F1. I'm not about that. So I just shut it all off, turned on my Xbox, switched on Crunchyroll, started watching anime, trying to catch up with One Piece. So I just shut off, man. And I just finished watching Invasion, the Apple TV series. Really, really good, man. Anybody out there who's into science fiction, Invasion is pretty good. And I'm about to, when I finish this, go and watch, what's that show called? Go and watch Expanse on Amazon Prime. Season 6 just started. So anyway, the second poll was, which midfield pairing do you prefer at Arsenal? And 66% of the vote said Sambi and Partey. Yeah, strangely enough, Xhaka and Partey got 17%, Sambi and Niles got 12%, Partey and El Nene got 4%, and Xhaka and Sambi got 1%. So not really surprising there.
No, the 17% is a bit surprising for Xhaka and Partey. I thought there'd have been a lot more for Sambi and Niles. Even Partey and El Nene. I mean, last season against Man United? I mean, they completely shut them down. I'd expected them to get a little bit more love.
I think the problem is definitely Partey. I got to say hello to Trey. What's going on, Trey? Because Trey said hello about twice, but I haven't got back to him. And what's going on, bro? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying the 3-0 win yesterday. The last one was obviously who was man of the match against the Southampton game. 42% have gone to Odergaard. 5%'s gone for Saka, which I'm actually shocked because I thought that was Saka's best game. And 17% Gabriel, 19% Martinelli, 18% Ramsdale. Pretty fair. Everyone's trying to be like, look, let's just do our player ratings. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah. I mean, listen, all the players that were mentioned had like really good games. I don't think so. You can't fault any of them for that's on that list.
Yeah, I'd go with Odegaard as well.
Okay, guys, so let's get into the
best game for me. That was his best
I think
game.
so. Definitely. So let's get into the player ratings then. Let's do it a little bit differently today. Let's go through the players and all give our grades after I give the grade. So we'll start off with Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale, for me, I've given him an 8. Made some crucial saves to keep Arsenal in the game. That first 25 minutes where we were just on the back foot, we were struggling. He just had some crazy saves. I think he made 3 or 4 saves just to keep us in the game. And then he almost had an assist with that 60-yard pass to Martinelli. Pinpoint accuracy right over the shoulder. Who does that? I mean, I know punters in the NFL that struggle and get paid millions of bucks to punt the ball onto the crossbar, onto the opening uprights. Some of them can do it, but they don't. I haven't really seen too many try. Mostly it's quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have got the throwing accuracy to actually throw the ball onto the upright. where it bounces off. But to have a goalkeeper kick the ball and have it land directly over the shoulder of a running player, beating the whole midfield. The guy beat the press, the whole midfield, even the two centre-backs that was tracking him. Ramsdale is just a weapon. And it's not the first time he's done it. It's not the first time he's done it. And for me, that was part of the season. I've not seen a goalkeeper, whether it's Alisson, whether it's anybody, I've not seen a goalkeeper distribute the ball like that. And he's doing it on a consistent basis. I'm going to give an 8. Neomis, what did you give Ramsdale?
For me, I actually gave Ramsdale was my man of the match.
Wow.
I thought he was absolutely stellar. Especially, and the reason why I gave him man of the match, because when I was looking at the numbers for Southampton, how many shots they had and how many shots on target, for me, without Ramsdale, this game ends up being completely different. And then the fact that he was a weapon on the offensive end as well, this guy is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like before I joined, I watched again him pass that ball to Martinelli. I mean, Martinelli deserved the goal in this game, but for me, again, Ramsdale showing that he's worth way more than what the 25 mil that we paid for him. Just brilliant player. And for me, I gave him a 9 in this game.
Wow. Cool K's given him an 8. It says 8 for me too. Ramsdale, rice and peas. Loved your video, bruv. Oh, I did a video last week where I got him holding up some jerk chicken and everything. It's quite funny. 18's giving him a 7.5. Tony?
I'm going to go 8.5. I thought he was fantastic. I love the energy. I love the knee slide. I love the vocalness of the guy. You literally can see through, hear him screaming at people. You get his frustration when people don't do their job correctly. I just love the guy. I love the kid. I think, skipping material for me in this trying times. He's somebody who I think is dynamic enough on the field to want, he has that Jens Lehmann kind of effect, doesn't he? He's like strong of character, and you can tell he hates losing. So I love the kid. 9.5, absolutely 8.5 for me.
Wow. So Ashek, big shout out to you. Ashek says greetings, nice 3-0 win. Xhaka is a donkey in the midfield. How many times did he lose the? Yeah, I said he lost the ball 4 times in the first few minutes. One of the guys came in and said it was actually 13 or something like that. Some strange stat, but we've got a whole forum on it on 101. Arsene Wenger says, agreed, didn't have too much yesterday, but we got away with it. Xhaka needs to be sold ASAP. Kuke says, Apollo, this is where, I just realized that the old way we did the player rate is very long. So let me just do the short way and blitz through it and then hand it over to the Yomis, because I just checked, it's 10:15 and I got to take my daughter back to university. So the one thing that I have to say about Ramsdale is at some point he's going to have to feature as the main England goalkeeper. I look at Pickford this season, and there's no way anybody can tell me that Pickford's having the season that Ramsdale is. There's not a chance. And another thing I want to say to you guys, remember in the summer when we were complaining and saying, how are we buying a goalkeeper who's been the player of the season for his last 2 teams that got relegated? Well, guess what? For 2 out of the first 3 months, he's been our player of the season. He's been our player of the month. And that's bad. When you've got a goalkeeper who's getting back-to-back player of the month, says a lot about your outfield players. And I sat back and I thought, bro, this is what happened when he was at Bournemouth, This is what happened when he was at his last previous teams. He was the best player on there. And Arsenal fans were complaining about it. And now he's come to Arsenal, and guess what? He's the best player in the team. Yeah. And that just says everything about the outfield players. Bertram, how you doing, bro? Bertram, I was up listening to you last night on coach's desk for about 3:30 or something like that. It was crazy. I was watching the Jazz game. I had the Jazz game on one screen. I had Bertram on YouTube, really getting into a good discussion, by the way, about how a lot of the people in Jamaica are saying that, you know, they prefer their players rather than the British-born players. And there's a lot of stuff going on. We know from 1998. And Bertrand was hitting that point home, which I think Bertrand made an excellent point on. And then they all ended up agreeing with him. One guy just denounced his words completely because of Bertrand. So that was really enjoyable to watch Bertrand. Keep that up, man. Thanks, mate. He says, guys, back off Xhaka. Whoa. Odegaard was losing the ball a bunch. That's not what the stats showed when I looked on BBC. Bertram said, we're so biased on who we favour. Judge the players. Well, you got to judge him because he's had 3 goals in the last 3 games. And what has Xhaka done since he's come back? So I think that that's fair, at least. But don't quote me on that. I don't take part in any Xhaka discussions at all. I leave that to you lot. I wash my hands with that. I boycott the player. I'm done. Arsene Wenger says he's
I'll happily take that one on for you, Apollo. In terms
no
of
problem.
Xhaka defense, there's just no defense. I'm sorry, he does nothing well enough to warrant a place on our team. When you've got players like Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Sambi Lokonga, who have come in and done far better jobs in their time this season than Xhaka did probably all of last season. You know, he offers us our midfield absolutely nothing. His inclusion in the team is a blot on Arteta's copybook.
No, I think so, yeah.
You know, for me, I'm sorry, but the sooner we get rid of that guy, the better. I'd rather play a youth like Sambi than play that guy who, as far as I'm concerned, offers us nothing. You know, you could say that, okay, Odegaard lost the ball a few more times than Xhaka. But who's trying to feed the ball through the eye of a needle? Odegaard.
Yeah.
I think you've had this conversation before, Stan. You know, was he worse than Partey?
I thought Partey was okay yesterday.
Partey was he was terrible, bro.
Really?
He was not good.
I didn't say that. I thought he was better.
He was marginally better.
Yeah, I thought he was more because he wasn't giving the ball away. He was quite tidy. When I looked at it in the film, I was like, okay, so this is good.
I don't know why, but Partey looks like he's playing at like 3/4 speed or even like half speed. His speed of movement around the pitch isn't that of a hustling, bustling midfielder. Whereas if you compare, and this is backing up what you said, Apollo, Sambi has been carrying Partey. The legs are not there for me.
Yeah, I agree.
And
so let me get.
You've got to say, even he said it. He marked himself 4 out of 10. So he ain't getting anywhere much further up. It's not like he suddenly turned on and gone, oh, I've switched on the 9 switch. No, he's still down at 4.
Yeah. So, guys, let me throw through my ratings, and then we can sort of discuss this in great deal. And when we finish the ratings, we can then talk about Aubameyang and then the captaincy. So, Tomiyasu, I've given an 8. Defensively solid, made a great tackle to deny Walker Peters on the timing of his tackles and his interceptions seem to be top tier as a defender. And he linked with Saka well. He was denied the goal when Carabaro saved his header from a corner. Remember, I thought that was quite tight. But overall, really liked his performance. And I don't think I've given this guy less than a 7 this season. Wow. I don't think I've given him less than a 7. Ben White, I've given a 7. I thought he struggled a little bit at first, but then good positioning, tidy, playing it out from the back in possession. That's all you kind of need from him. Solid game. Gabriel, I thought he gave the ball away a little bit in the first 20 minutes. Some of that repelling where you were playing out and the ball was coming straight back. I think him and Xhaka was the culprits in the first 20 minutes. But then he also got booked as well. He was a bit rash. He also got booked after the first 3 or 4 minutes, I think it was. But he got stronger as the game went on, powered home that third goal, that header just towered above everybody. Reminded me of Sol Campbell just making that ball he's in the box. And I'm just hoping that he doesn't suffer a bad injury. So far, we haven't heard anything coming out of that, but the scan results won't be till tomorrow morning. But he was withdrawn early. But I've given him a 7.5. I thought he came back and did really well. Tierney, for me, I don't think he's 100% match fit yet, but he's hugely committed. And maybe that's because he knows Tavares is behind him. We saw him fly up and down the field, got himself an assist as well with the header. I thought that was really good. And for the Martin Odegaard goal, and he looks heady and looks like he's a little bit back to his old self. And so that's good to see. Do I think he's added more than Tavares at this point? I have to say no, but I don't think he's playing badly. So that's a positive for me. Thomas Partey, I'm giving a 6. I thought Partey, after he's had a 4, 4 and a 3 from me this season, my only complaint is that he didn't get stuck in. I call him a bully, and he's just not bodying people. He's not being physical in the midfield at all. And that's what he needs to add to his game. If he adds that, then I think that I can start to say then he's on his way back. But what I thought he did was much improved in possession. He didn't give the ball away. It wasn't as slappy as Xhaka, that's for sure. And I have to note that the midfield split and pass he gave to Odegaard in the second half, that pass was brilliant. He put the ball through 3 midfielders, Partey did. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, signs of the old Partey coming back. So just a little reminder that he's got that in his locker. And so I thought he did really well. I'm giving him a 6. I thought it was an improvement, but still not back to where I would expect him to be. Saka, I've given a 7.5. One of his best games this season. Heady display, look busy, look hungry. I think for me, I've been on his back this season about his vision. His decision-maker's been poor. He's looked erratic in possession. I didn't see that. I saw the old Saka of old, the guy with the vision, the guy that can see everything, the guy that can spot a pass. That was hit home when he was down the flank. Amount of runs he made, and he squared the ball right on the dime for Lacazette's goal. And I liked what he said. I even said on Twitter that he put in the first half, he put in a Raheem Sterling performance, because the way he was running the channels reminded me of the Saka of old. And remember, guys, he also hit the post as well. I got to remind that. Remember when I talked about, me and Tony went through back and forth of creativity and stats and chances missed and things like that. And I sent a sheet that said we are the second highest team in the league with 8 shots hitting the post. Yesterday we had 2. We are now the lead leaders in shots hitting the woodwork with 10 this season. So in what are we? 16 games. In 16 games, we've hit the woodwork 10 times. So it's not through lack of creativity. They're getting the chances. They're just fluffing their lines. But I know me and Tony disagree on that, and that's fine. That's okay. So for me, guys, again, 22 assists since he started playing in the first team, which leads the team. Nobody in the team has more assists than Saka. So props to him. Good to see him back on the form. He gets a 7.5 from me. Martin Odegaard, good performance. Looked like Ozil at times. Everybody was saying the way he runs in now, he's almost expecting those little touches, the little classy moments. It just reminds me of Mesut Ozil in there. For me, it was the heart and soul of Arsenal's forward play. Everything went through him. He was finding Saka, finding Tierney, the vision, the speed of the game as well. Everything was bang, 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 bang. Seems like he's getting a bit more comfortable now. 3 goals in his last 3 games, 4th of the assists of the season. My question, I was going to say, where is the assists? But when I looked at his map play and the chances he's created for the team, people are just not putting them away. So maybe if we were more clinical, he'd have more assists. So I'm not going to body him on that. He's doing such a good job of putting the ball in the back of the net and helping the strikers. But I'm not going to berate him of that. Martinelli, this is for you, La African Goon. I know you're listening. You just left a message in the chat. La African Gooner, Martinelli, 7.5 out of 10. Great energy. His pressing is improving as well. And I think I can say now that he's near to his best. Not at his best when he scored 10 goals 2 seasons ago, but he's near to that point where he's like that player again. He's, again, got an assist. He's had 1 goal, 2 assists in his last few starts. He hit the post as well. He was the other guy who hit the post. So Saka, for me, because of the Aubameyang situation, he's a lock to make the first team now. That's it. He's a first team player. Until anything changes, for me, he's a lock. Martin Lacazette, you guys know I made a video in the midweek talking about Lacazette. I challenged him. I called him Robin, yeah, and I said when Lacazette when Aubameyang's out of the team, you need to be Batman. You can't be Robin as the main striker. That doesn't work. And I think yesterday rather, he showed us that he could be Batman if he made the effort. Now, this has all got to do with the starting position a striker has when you're attacking and when you have balls coming in from the flanks. He's just been so lazy to make the run into the 6-yard line, and I think that if he can do that, then he will be that complete striker. For me, he's no good to us when he's standing on the 18-yard line outside the penalty area when all the attacking is being done on the 6-yard line. The run into the box on Saka's pass shows what happens when you make yourself a target. Yeah, you can't be a target outside the box. You ain't gonna score from there, bro. When crosses are coming in, you need to be in there, and that goal simplifies exactly what I've said is the problem with him this season. That he's just not hungry enough, and he needs to add that to his game. I give him a 7. I didn't think he did much outside of that, though. Really poor hold-up play, but hopefully that will improve. Arteta, I'm going to give a 7.5. I think he's the way he set the team up, and you guys would only really see this from being in the stadium. The amount of screaming and how animated he is, and the way he's orchestrating the midfield and the lines and the shape and tightness. He's doing it because that's where the team is struggling. And I have to say one thing outside of Arteta, which is what happened against Everton, what happened in the first 25 minutes against Southampton. The reason why our midfield has been overflooded is because the continuous press from what we see with Smith Rowe and Aubameyang hasn't been there. And this is something that I've talked to Bertram and Tony about when they've said Aubameyang is useless a bit. No, he hasn't been useless this season. I thought he's played quite well, and he's been working so hard off the ball. For me, he's been the top pressing player in our team when he's been there. And when you take that out and you take out Smith Rowe, all that pressing from the front is just completely disappeared. And a lot of the frustration from Arteta yesterday, which is where we started to improve, is the Martinelli, Odergaard, Xhaka, they started getting at them. They started putting pressure on the back line. And when you do that, that disrupts the flow of your opponent's build-up play. And it stops our defense, our defense from being peppered and the midfield from getting overrun. So hopefully they're going to look at that on film and they'll try and solve that issue before the West Ham game. Will they do it? I don't think that they will, but it's definitely a problem right now where you don't put that pressure on them on a goalkeeper playing out at the back, and you just allow teams to freely play past you. And I think that is something that Arteta has to address. But interesting film review reactions coming up on Monday and Tuesday, so it'd be interesting to see Arteta preaching that kind of intensity that we've been lacking, because you ain't going to get away with it against West Ham. And that's me, guys. Neomis, you got the conch.
Okay, so I'm going to give everyone in the defense a 7, except for Gabriel, who I will give a 7.5. I thought overall the defense were really solid. Made sure that they helped the goalkeeper out when need be. I think apart from the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought the defense were doing exactly what they needed to do. I thought Gabriel, for me, was probably the better out of all of the defenders. Not by much, slightly. But again, I'm loving what I'm seeing from him this season. And I think he is definitely improved on how he was last season. Same thing there goes for Yasu. I thought played very, very well, delivering our great crosses into the box. Taney obviously getting the assist. Like you, I do think that he's now kind of getting back up to what we saw from last season, which is really good to see, because we will need him, especially on this over this Christmas period. We're definitely going to start using a lot of the depth in the squad, as we saw with when Rob Holden came on as a substitute. So I'm glad to see that the kind of depth in our defense is really coming good. Xhaka, I actually gave a 5. I think for me, he probably was the worst player on the pitch. He's been worse, which is why I've only given him a 5. But again, it's an average performance. Lost the ball quite a bit. Like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I think structurally he just doesn't fit with what needs to, with how this formation needs to be played. The combination between him and Thomas Partey in the midfield for me is not the right fit. It's got the passing there in that midfield, but unless you give Xhaka and Partey time on the ball, which you're not really going to get in the Premier League, then both of them together are just not going to be great. And for me, every time Xhaka's on the pitch, I worry. I worry that it's going to be he's one foul away from getting a yellow card, and then another from getting a red card. I mean, I just watched the Wolves game yesterday. I saw Jimenez get 2 yellows in the space of 45 seconds. I mean, that's a Granit Xhaka type of performance, and I know Arteta's not going to sell him, which is why, like, there's nothing that's going to be done for them to give him a new contract. He's not going anywhere. I just hope that some way, shape, or form, Arteta is seeing these next games coming up and is deciding to have a better fit in that midfield, because that's the tweak that's going to be needed in the game against West Ham. But I mean, overall,
against Souček and Declan Rice, man, this lot is going to get rinsed.
Of course, because West Ham, their 2 midfield players for me they're the ones that make West Ham as good as they are right now. They've got 2 complete midfield players on that Pogba type level. They do everything. They score goals, they create chances, they hold the ball up well, they win the ball in the air. And this is why the balance of the midfield is so important. Either that, or we change formation and we have to just outnumber them in midfield, just swarm them like a bunch of bees, to just overwhelm Souček and Rice. So definitely some special tactics are going to need against that. But the good things that Xhaka did, he had a few good kind of passes here and there. But yeah, I just think, again, his same weaknesses, he just needs to kind of iron out. Partey, I actually gave 6.5. Again, like Xhaka, one of the worst players. Not drastically worse, but for me, again, doesn't quite fit with Xhaka. Had some good passing. Intercepting was pretty good. But again, like you were saying, that hasn't really gotten stuck into those kind of defensive duels, which I think that's what's coming up against West Ham. And he's going to have to be prepared to get physical. So maybe it's a matter of a mentality thing with all the recent injuries that he's had, trying to kind of play it safe rather than really getting in there and potentially getting an injury. So definitely, I think that I want to see more from Partey. Saka and Martinelli, I both gave 7s. Now, I gave 7s because of the assists. I desperately wanted both of them to get goals, but especially Saka. I think if he can just continue to add more goals to his game, that'll make him much more of a well-rounded player. But apart from that, he did everything else right. Worked hard defensively, off the ball, created chance, got the assist. I mean, I have nothing negative to say about him. Same thing with Martinelli. I'm loving to see Martinelli get games. My boy Smith Rowe is on the bench, which that's a problem right now, because what does this mean for Smith Rowe? Are we going to continue giving Smith Rowe a bit of a rest and just allow Martinelli to kind of get games, or are we going to sparingly manage Smith Rowe and maybe play him in the number 10 and maybe give Odegaard a rest, or Saka? I'm very curious to see how this is going to go and how Arteta's going to play his cards with those 2. But just great work from Martinelli and Saka in that game. Odegaard, I gave Odegaard an 8.5 as well. For me, I thought this was his best game. Got another goal. For me, doing exactly what we've needed him to do. I need him to justify that price tag. Again, like you said, he's not getting the assists. I personally don't have too much of a problem with that, because I think you need to have if you're not getting the assists, but you're getting the goals to make up with it, I can accept that. So if Odegaard winds up with 15 goals at the end of the season and about 5 assists, I'm not going to be complaining. But as long as, kind of makes up for that, I have no problem with that, because that means that the assist that he should be getting is going to someone else. And it's probably going to the likes of Saka and Martinelli. So that's fine with me. And then Lacazette, I gave a 7.5. I'm a big fan of Lacazette. For me, I think he fits better with what we're trying to do. He's a little bit more all-rounded. He'll help to bring other players into play. I think there were times in the game he wasn't quite holding up the ball well.
Yeah, see, I didn't think his hold-up play was good at all. That's what he's known for. I think he's been quite average lately, and the goal is probably going to give him some much-needed confidence. But what was your thoughts on his hold-up play yesterday?
I thought his hold-up play was. I thought it was all right. I thought it was all right. I don't think I've seen him have better hold-up play. I don't think there was any much consistency from it. I think it's the key thing. I like the fact that he got the goal, but the one thing that I don't want him to keep doing is dropping back. But I do understand why he's doing it, which again goes like in the last game. We all asked, why is he dropping back? That's because he's not getting the ball and getting the service. And why is that? Because the ball is getting stuck in the midfield, which goes back to Partey and Xhaka, because as soon as they get the ball, they don't spot the passing opportunities quick enough. They pass back. Lacazette then gets frustrated. He then basically comes back into central midfield to try to get the ball and do something. And then it becomes then a vicious cycle. Then he's playing like how Aubameyang was, as though Aubameyang is on the pitch where he's dropping deep. So I want to continue seeing him play. As long as he gets goals and has some decent hold-up play, I don't mind. Long term in the summer, it will be interesting because I know we're going to get on Aubameyang later on, but Arteta really is probably going to get an opportunity to really make his stamp on the attacking side because we're going to potentially have like all of our kind of senior pure strikers leaving the club. But now,
sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say right now, I think we can get away with Lacazette up front.
Right. So, Tony, before I come to you, I just wanted to have a look at something. And this is really just based around Lacazette. Where are we? 2, do we have? Yes, we got it here. This is really just based about Lacazette, and this is why I'm talking about his hunger. I wish I put that thing on there now because that looks a bit crazy. All right, let's try and do this again, shall we? All right. Neomis, you just want to round that out, and then I'll put this thing up again.
Yeah. For the only other thing is Arteta. For me, I gave him a 7. Even though we got the win, for me, the midfield for me is the key part. Like, I think Southampton were the worst team that we faced so far this season, and I think the result really shows that. We haven't beaten anybody else 3-0 this season. Spurs are the closest one with 3-1 to get a clean sheet, and I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit more selfish, but I think we could have probably beaten them 4 or 5. If we were a little bit more clinical with everything, if the midfield for me had Sambi and Maitland-Niles, or even just had a much more settled and comfortable midfield that allowed a little bit more fluid play, I think we could have had more. But I take the win, and I won't complain, and we'll continue going.
So just having a look at so Lacazette is here. He's got. I know this is a bit small, guys. I'm sorry about that. Let me try and. I can't even zoom that in anymore. So looking at Lacazette, he's got 4 goals in 14 games, which is he's only played 1 game less than Aubameyang, and he's pretty much again played 2 games less than Smith Rowe, 1 game less than Odegaard. But I think the troubling thing for me is when you look at this is what I actually wanted to show you guys in terms of where his form is. He's only had 11 shots in 14 games as a striker. And he's got the lowest shot accuracy. I know Saka's 57%, but Saka's a winger. So we're probably talking about main strikers here, although that's poor for Saka anyway, and we should note that. We should actually make that a point that that's not acceptable for Saka as well. But the bottom, let me take this away so I can see Tony's face. But the bottom line here is, you can see that he's had 7 shots less than Smith Rowe. And Smith Rowe's
he's played way less minutes, bro. Look at him in the minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the minutes. The minutes is more than Aubameyang, and Aubameyang's had nearly 3 times more shots than he has.
Nah, it's not more minutes. It's minutes per goal.
Yeah, minutes per goal.
That's not how many minutes he's played. Minutes played, it'll be way less than Emil Smith Rowe.
It's good that his conversion is high.
Yeah, his conversion rate is is the highest, right? Or next to Martin Odergaard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Odegaard's highest. And the problem with Lacazette is that he's been played in a subdued role behind Aubameyang, and I just think he's almost been comfortable with this almost subservient role where Aubameyang is the main guy, and that he just drops deep. So it's almost like I honestly think he's just been playing his part. He's almost been playing like an Odegaard, which probably why their numbers are so similar.
Yeah, and for me, where I see that being a problem is if you look at sort of Harry Kane and Song, who have the same type of sort of synergy. You know, one plays up front, the other one plays behind. Their shots are quite consistently high. And if you look at Liverpool's front three and, you know, Man United's front three, we should be getting more in terms of at least shots from Aubameyang, from Lacazette, sorry, regardless whether he's a main striker or not. The effort is just not there. There's just not enough effort for me.
He definitely hasn't been taking a lot of shots. There have been games where I've been watching the game and be thinking, why isn't he taking a shot? And he's chosen to pass it instead of taking a shot. And I've seen Lacazette can hit them outside the box with power and accuracy. And there have been times this season where he just hasn't. And so I completely understand. You're absolutely right. But
2 times yesterday. 2 times yesterday he got the through ball. He's in on goal. You're just like, go on, shoot.
Yeah. I was just about to say that, Tony.
And then the other one he tried to pass. But it's like, really? You're a striker. You don't pass.
Yeah,
you're one-on-one with the keeper. I know there's a player to your left shoulder, but you shield the ball from that player and you get a shot off.
So let me hear what these guys are saying before I go to Tony. Kuke says, we have Arsene Wenger and Stan in the chat. Bertrand says, Kuke, we all agree that Xhaka is not the solution, but he is loved by and all those managers failed. I think that's what we're scratching our head. You included, Bertrand. 18 says, man of the match for me was Odegaard. Ozil-like performance that Bertrand would be proud of. Bertrand says, if Partey continues like this, he should retain his place. I thought he did okay. So my views are slightly different than Tony's and Naomi's. I thought he was tidy. He didn't look a liability yesterday. But I didn't see the strength, the tower of strength, the bully, the tackling, the guy who you don't want to be near. That is missing, man. That's not even been him this season. And, you know, somebody needs to punch him in his face or something in order to get him angry. Seriously, because that streak is gone, man. I mean, where is it? Where's the bully?
Yeah.
Kuke said, that's the crux of the Xhaka problem. He's either a good 6 or terrible. And then he says, how much 8s did Sambi get when he was started? A lot. I can tell you a lot. Man of the match twice. Then he says, we started sloppy, slowly regained control. But that was because of what I was talking about in terms of the intensity and the pressure. Once Arteta got that managed, we looked like we won the front foot rather than the back foot. So Arteta deserves some credit for that. 18 says, if Lacazette is our best option, we're in trouble. And then Bertrand says 40% conversion rate. It says, aren't we focused on the wrong percent? Yeah, I think they said that. Bertrand says, Apollo, that was a question, not a statement. Okay. Okay, I forgot which one that is. Arsene Wenger says, the one he passed he should have shot. Everybody in the stadium was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But again, it's this thing where we're talking about being clinical. That's my thing. Yeah. Tony's thing is we're not creating enough chances. Nabil agrees with him. I believe Bertrand does to an extent. I'm not sure where Neomis is. These are one of the subjects Neomis has just been quiet on. Neomis just say, "I'll sit in the back and let you lot just deal with it."
You know what it is, right? It's for me. I think Lacazette is playing the part that he's told to play, but I definitely think that mentally he's just not thinking like a striker. He's thinking more like a number 10, like a 9.5. Someone that's playing with another forward player, and that forward player is going to do all the scoring, and he's just going to play support. It's like you talk about he's Robin and Aubameyang's Batman. I think he's comfortable being Robin.
Yeah, too comfortable.
I think that's what it is. He's too comfortable.
Yeah, it's making him passive. That's the problem. Tony, you got the conch.
So, I've already given Ramsdale an 8.5. Joint man of the match for me. As I said, I love the kid. Tommy Yasu, great industry up and down again. Nothing to shout home about, but he's just consistent. I'll give him a 7.5. Ben White, give a 7. And I think the problem with Ben White is the midfield in front of him, because I don't see why he's running past Partey and Xhaka attacking midfielders on the opposite team when that's their job. Yeah. Now, what should be happening is if you're moving forward and you want to take on those players, then something needs to rotate around. Yeah. But you shouldn't be running through 3-4 players and then losing the ball and finding yourself without the man there behind you. And then Gabriel's kind of like, oh, my guy's gone. So Ben White needs to fix up with his marauding runs. But I like the kid. He's strong. His percentages of winning duels is high.
And I think last season he was the 3rd highest in the league at bringing the ball out of the back at possession, which is why that's why they went in for him, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look, Gabriel, who sits next to him, just doesn't take them chances. Yeah. And he'll deliver a nice ball through when he gets the chance. He's very
underrated.
measured in his passing.
Yeah.
He has a very high pass accuracy. And not only that, I think if I remember rightly, he passes the ball more than anybody else in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Every week he has 90-something plus touches and 90-something plus passes with a high completion rate. Ben's normally a little bit lower, with a little bit lower completion rate, but Ben is a lot more adventurous in his, taking on and maybe in some of his passes. But let's not get the Gabriel not adventurous type narrative guy, because he's an adventurous defender. So Ben White gives 7, Gabriel 7.5. Tony gets a 7.5 because he also got the assist, which he fought tooth and nail for. So well done for him for that. Getting an assist should give you at least a half a mark extra. Xhaka, the best I can give him is a 5. And for me, I've mentioned this before, that's not an average. That's below average to me. Yeah? If everybody else is getting 6+ in a 3-0 win as well, yeah? 5 is substandard. 4 is substandard. 6, 5.5, they're all substandard if everyone else is getting 7 up. Partey, this shooting business.
Yeah, it's awful.
Somebody at the club has to take this kid aside and say, look, your shooting method that you had at Atletico Madrid has tototally gone. So you
are being different ball that they're using, though, man. Like, it's gotta be what type of ball they're using in La Liga.
What's he doing every day, all day through the week?
Guys, it's a confidence swing, man. It's a confidence swing. I mean, he's really low right now.
He's taking shots on in the most ridiculous of places as well. They're not like, look, if you get to the edge of the area, I understand you should take a shot. Yeah? But you're like 10 meters behind that. So you're 35 yards out.
And I did state out to you, and I did state out to you guys, because we have to be very balanced in our views, that the best attempt we had against Liverpool was when he put it on the postage stamp and Alisson made that amazing save. I thought that was the best effort of the game. So we gotta remember, guys, we gotta keep it a little bit balanced.
But it is one of them situations where you have to say, if your shot percentage is low, maybe you should go back to the table and redraw that algorithm up again and say, you know what, less shots until I can correct that.
So his goal conversion is 6%, and his shot accuracy is 29%.
That's awful.
Which is second lowest in the team. The lowest shot accuracy in the team, you're never gonna guess who it is.
Please tell me it's not an attacker. Please tell me it's not.
No.
Who is it?
The lowest shot accuracy in the team is 20%, and it's Martinelli. This is the reason why I said to you guys, when Tony said we're not creative, and I already looked at the data when I was on the stream with Andy, and me and Andy had all the data up, and I showed everybody Arsenal's the 5th most creative team. But when I looked into Tony's analysis was big chances, and he's right about that. But then when you go deeper into the amount of shots they've had, the amount of times they've hit the post, and they're just useless. They are. It's almost like you've got a bunch of schoolboys out there just hitting anything. You know, there's a saying in archery: if you aim at nothing, you hit nothing, and that's what they're doing. They're just blindly they're just blindly hitting the ball. There's no technique or there's no skill in their shooting. And I've talked to you, Tony and Bertrand, about this previous months about the midfielders, and I've said to you, Saka's shooting's terrible because he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Smith Rowe, on the other hand, is hitting it to the left, hitting it bottom right. That's where the goalkeeper can't make a save. And that's something midfielders, especially young ones, learn as they get older. Smith Rowe seems to have it like that. Saka doesn't. So many times Saka I think I mentioned it when he tried to shoot against Martinez and Martinez made a foot save. And I was like, but there was gaping hole over on the left-hand side. All you got to do is place the ball. That's what separated Walcott from all that. Walcott could finish on a dime. He could curl a ball in. He could go low, hard, bottom. Just what Thierry Henry taught him. And he was a clinical finisher. These guys, they're a long way. They got a long way to go, man.
Well, they ain't got a long way to go because Lacazette and Aubameyang are finished, mate. They can't go anymore. You know, old dog, new tricks. You know, is the phrase. But yeah, definitely Saka has to learn that. I think we're also missing out on the fact that Pepe is without doubt our best player at doing that.
How did he give him 5 minutes yesterday?
He's done.
How are you going to bring the guy for 5? If that was me and they called my number, I just would have looked at the manager like this and kept my clothes on.
Apollo.
I just would have. Boss, you're going to give me 5 minutes.
Apollo. Yeah. I was looking at how many starts Pepe has had in the Premier League. It ain't much. It ain't much.
I told the guys that last year, I actually said to them, he's had 16 starts last season and 10 goals. By all accounts, he's averaging more than a goal every 2 games. Argument done. No, everyone's trying to get into the discussions with Pepe. You're going to lose.
Arteta doesn't like him.
He's not playing. No one's playing him on a consistent basis. I said from day one, and all of you lot was here, if you play this guy every game, he'll get you 20 goals. Bang. Done. 20 goals. And we're not even talking about the amount of assists he racks up.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous how, you know, the manager doesn't see him as an asset to the team and use him as such. You know, look, you have all these glorious stories of how he formed Raheem Sterling at Man City. Well, what you doing at this club, bro? Because we ain't seen that. We ain't seen that replicated. You know, I think Saka is as close to as a
Smith Rowe.
Yeah, Smith Rowe. Yeah, but yeah, you know, I'd like him to change that, but I sadly don't see it happening. I'll continue with my marking. Saka 7.5. Yeah, I think he was working hard, trying to create. I think he created 3 opportunities in the game. Obviously got the assist for the goal, which was a great run and a great find for Lacazette. I mean, that was, and we have to give praise for that goal, because that goal was phenomenal. That was Wenger ball. The triangles, which I know Anthony Roberts, he would have been wetting himself with that goal, because the triangles were beautiful. The final ball was on the money. The finish was beautiful. So there's just so much to commend about that goal, in terms of, look at how Arsenal can play.
It was Arteta ball at its finest, man.
Yeah, I prefer to call it Wenger ball, because that was something we used to see with Wenger on a regular basis. With Arteta, we don't see it so often. We get two of them 6 passes, and we lose the ball normally.
Tony's talking about it, so let's show it up so that he can see what's going on. Let me get rid of this first so Tony can elaborate on it. Yeah, Tony, talk us through it.
Yeah,
20 touch sequence, was it?
Yeah, it's just beautiful how you can see the ball working its way from side to side. You see how involved Aaron Ramsdale is at the beginning, and he's laid on a fantastic ball with a player right in front of him onto Tommy Yasu to get that going.
So Tony, I know you lot are going to dig me out for it, but this is proof here that this guy had nothing to do with the goal. If you look at number 34 here, where I'm circling, he actually plays the ball backwards.
Yeah.
Of course he has nothing to do with it, Apollo. Like, we knew that.
So, yeah, everyone talks about the sideways. Hey, everyone talks about the sideways and backwards, but as soon as it comes to their man, they don't want to talk about it.
Where did number 6 play the ball?
Looks like number 6 is Gabriel, and he's
I think he played the 32, didn't he?
He's got 4 involvements.
Yeah.
In that.
Okay. I just want to make sure that it's not one person who did it, so we can be objective in this. It's not one person. There's more than one who passed the ball back.
Yeah,
because I'm doing it for a particular reason, Bertram.
And by the way, 34 had no pass. There was no one around 34 to get the ball.
34 could have ran with the ball.
Where 34? He could have ran. He can't run.
Yeah, because you can see Gabriel here touch the ball 5 times.
Yeah, stop defending 34.
No, I just don't like the ball. I'm a very objective person, Tony.
You can't be defending 34, bro. Not on there.
But I'm just saying, Apollo pointed out 34. He didn't point out 6 passed the ball back. He pointed out 34.
I think 6 has actually done well here, because he's got into various different positions to maintain the movement.
So Tony, it's your time. I'll have my say, so I'll allow you to go. I have a lot to say.
So by Bertram's analysis on number 6, where you can see he's in 5 different positions here, then 34 should be somewhere up here, right?
No, they were all playing together. It's right. You suck them in. You suck them in.
Yeah, but this is the problem, Bertram. What 34 doesn't do is make himself available in a line where he can turn on a ball and proceed the ball forward. Yeah,
yes,
so
we all Tony. Totally agree.
That's what you want your midfielder to do. Be in a line whereby once you receive the ball, you can turn, even a half turn. That's all you need. Half turn, and you can look at your options and go 1, 2. It's like a quarterback. He gets the ball, goes for his reads, and then he decides, okay, I'm making a check down if necessary, because that's what that is. It's a check down when you come backwards. Yeah.
So Tony, question: Who's the most impressive movement in this build-up? Is it Tomiyasu? Because I'm circling number 18 here, and you can see the way how he works with Ben White, and he shoots up on the right, and then starts to provide Saka. Obviously, we talked about how good Saka was in terms of his vision and the way how he's running. But Tomiyasu here, very, very important to the build-up of playing this goal.
Yeah, but I got to give all the credit to
Ramsdale.
No. The credit for me goes to Xhaka, because what you're not seeing is he goes past players at the end.
Yeah, but Ramsdale was under a lot of pressure.
I agree. I agree, Bertrand.
They were way upfield. So when you break that initial pressure, they're scrambling to get back.
Yeah,
I agree, Bertrand. I agree. I think I made that when I talked about it in my video in the midweek, and I said this guy's he knows when to punch the ball, he knows when to catch the ball, he knows when to go long, he knows when to go short. He doesn't panic under pressure. For me, and I didn't think I was going to ever say this, he is the total package, everything.
So let's not kill him when he makes a mistake and give away a goal, because it's inevitable when you play this way. Inevitable. So let's not kill him when it occurs, because remember the last one game, 3 games ago, he kicked and the ball went between his legs, almost gave a goal away. It's inevitable to happen because pressure does cause those problems. So let's not kill him when he does.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, Wenger ball at his best. You got, as I said, Anthony Roberts will be very happy because we played triangles in a beautiful way. We progressed the ball lovely. It was a beautiful goal to watch.
Are you finished with this one now, Tony?
Yeah.
Right, excellent.
Okay, so then Martin Odegaard, I'll give 8.5. Joint man of the match with Ramsdale. I thought this was his best game in a very long time. I think his best game this season by far. I can't think of the game last year. He did have a game last year where he was phenomenal, I think, early doors. Martinelli, industrious, but sometimes wasteful. But I think, he's one that you have to persist with. He's exciting. His speed, I don't know who's faster out of him and Aubameyang, because Martinelli is rapid as hell.
Did you see his pressing as well? Started doing that properly yesterday as well.
Yeah. I think he's without a doubt a gem, a diamond in the rough. Just needs a bit of, coaching. I'd love to see, Thierry Henry come and work with him, because I think he would be so good if Thierry was coaching him. Lacazette, I thought Lacazette was he tried hard, took his goal superbly, but we mentioned it, you've got two sitters, bro. You've got to shoot the ball. When you get put through, you can't be looking for someone else. You're the striker. You're not playing in a two-striker role. You're playing on your own up front. Your job is to score the goals, to go and score. Stop looking at other people. Use your left foot, right foot. So I was slightly disappointed because that score should have been 4, 5, or 6 in my estimation, and it wasn't because partially Lacazette didn't bring the shooting boots that he needed to.
And that's
what he should have had.
And we're not even talking about the 2 times we hit the post.
Yeah,
we're not even talking about that.
Yeah. As far as Arteta is concerned, the inclusion of Xhaka has got to be counted as a negative against him. Other than that, it's a good team. It gets the job done. Had we been playing Man City, we'd have got spanked. But he's got to do what he's got to do when he's doing it, and for that, I'll give him 7 out of 10.
Yeah, and just a few things before I go to Bertrand. By the way, welcome to Bertrand for joining us. Is in the second half, because it's probably not going to go mentioned in this stream, so I have to mention it. In the second half, regardless of the goals that were scored, we had played some of the most beautiful football that I've seen the team do this season. The amount of chances that we had hitting the woodwork and everything was just a result of the way how we were able to move the ball at speed. And it just goes to show, when I was sitting with the guys who were in my section at the Emirates, and I was saying to them, in terms of on the Lacazette goal, look how fast we're moving the ball, one-touch football, bang, 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 bang. And then afterwards, I was pointing out sometimes when Xhaka received the ball, taken 4, 5, 6, 7 touches, just holding onto the ball for far too long. And then when you have the ball for that length of time, you're just allowing the defense to bed themselves in, and then it makes it hard to break them down. And I think this is where we miss a few players, like maybe a Smith Rowe, and you know, it's just indicative of how we've been struggling with this build-up play. Sometimes in the second half, it was really quick, it was rapid, it was like bang, bang, the ball was moving and the players are moving accordingly. And that's nice to see. But I'm just hoping that they can grow from that. As I said, a lot of film work to be done on Monday and Tuesday. And I really hope that they do sort of take this and run with it. But accolades to the guys for being able to play some beautiful football, which was a delight to see and a delight to watch. But let's go to Bertram. Bertram, first of all, what was your thoughts on the game? And secondly, what was your grades?
So, look, I thought we struggled in the first 20, 25, 30 minutes. In fact, I was getting frustrated because we couldn't get the ball off them and we couldn't keep the ball, which I found really interesting. That's why I like to temper. And Tony made a good point. The last part of his comment, this was Man City, how would it be? We have to make our mind up. Are we a pressing team or are we a West Ham? Because I'm not sure what we are when it comes to how we play defense. Are we going to be in your face with 11 players or 10 players? Or are we going to sit back and you come at us and we win it and we take it forward? I'm not sure because we seem to have half pressing sometimes, some don't press. Partey and Xhaka can press. They don't have any legs to press. Partey is 36 years old. You can find his birth certificate. There's no way he's 28. No way. He's not 28. He doesn't look 28. He doesn't play 28. He has no legs. So those who say he's 28, I don't know where you get that from because it cannot be. And the more I watch him play, and I watch him at Atletico Madrid, I watch him play against Liverpool and withstand all that Liverpool pressure. And now he's on. Now he's been injured quite a bit. I mean, part of the issue, and he's trying to get back into. But injury doesn't take away from how you play with the ball. You may not be able to have the energy, but still be able to make a pass or get into space to receive a pass. So hopefully he does better. But I did think, I think Southampton got tired. They were doing something they may not do as well as they could. We got more room to play, and we can kill you when we get room to play. But we can't play with pressure in our face. That's why we struggle against Liverpool and Man City and someone against Chelsea. When you're in our faces, we can't play really well. We struggle. We lose the ball a lot, and we just lose our composure, and that's why we get slaughtered by Liverpool for the last 6-7 years and by Man City. So hopefully these games will give us more confidence and allow us to feel good playing football because we don't play well against the better teams when they're in our faces. But look, as you're saying, Apollo, it could have been a higher score. I don't think Southampton, they had a few good shots on goal and Ramsdale made a saves that he should be making. But regardless of what transpired, we would have probably won the game, given how open they got as the game progressed. Now, in terms of the ratings, I am fine with most of these ratings. I don't think Tierney was a 7.5. I thought he was about a 7. I thought Odegaard gave the ball a lot away. And I was frustrated with Odegaard when the game started. After the 25th minute or so, he got more into the game. But go back and watch the game and how much time he gave the ball away. Now, Xhaka gave it away a few times in the first half.
And Gabriel.
Gabriel passes are really obvious because he's making long passes across the field, and then he put us under pressure because he's out of position. They get the ball and they can go in and go. And here's the thing, guys: against the better teams, you pay for that. Against the Southamptons and the Norwich, you can get away with it, and that's why we don't seem to realize this, which is our midfield can keep losing the ball. When you play the better teams, it showed up so obviously because when they get it, we can't get it back, and they get it closer to a goal, and we can't defend. And Partey and Xhaka can't run. So they're nowhere around when they're pressuring us. Also, Ben White hesitates too much. So I'm not sure if you guys realize it sometimes. And that happened in the previous game against Everton. You got to present yourself sometimes to the forward, so he has to make a quick decision. When you back off, he now has room. People don't like to play without room, you know. He has room to decide, do I go left, do I go right, do I make a pass? Make him have to make a quick decision. Sometimes Ben White hesitates. Should I go, not go? Creates room for the forwards. And he done it yesterday. And he did it against Everton. I think it was in the first goal and another goal. And by the way, Everton scored 4 goals against us. I don't care what anybody says about VAR. Those were so close, and they were real goals. They weren't like he's way offside and we're creating offside traps. And I watched Everton today. They didn't even that good. So I do struggle with us sometimes about how we play against certain teams. But if put the grades up back, Apollo, let's go to the grades quickly.
Bertram 18 asked if is that to do with age with Ben White because he's 23. Someone thinks Neon misses sleeping. It's too far away, so you can't.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm letting the man speak. Like, don't worry about the eyes, man.
I'm fine with most of the grades.
I can't even sit too far.
I take off 0.5 for Saka because he missed a sitter. And by the way, guys, you guys are giving Lacazette grief about not trying to square the ball, not scoring. We all agree that forwards are normally greedy. But that ball that Saka shot and goal, right? And a friend of mine was calling me and saying, why didn't he cross the ball to Aubameyang, to Laka? And yet it was an easier pass, and Laka was waving his hand to get it. But he was in on goal, basically. So you have a forward have a split choice to make, which is, should I square it or should I shoot it? If I square it, there's no one there but the goal. If I try to shoot, someone's going to say I'm selfish, and I may miss. It's a split second to make a decision. No, the ball he's trying to cross Tony would have been in a goal. I think it was Odergaard.
Yeah, but I think nobody ever turns around and says a striker is greedy. Because we know
no, they have. They say Salah is greedy. They say Salah is greedy.
But he's supposed to be.
Well, some people are much
greedy.
Some people are much more.
Never turn. Do you know how many times Thierry Henry missed open goals?
Yeah, but we can't. Thierry Henry scored enough goals to make up for it. Laka hasn't.
That's the point. Yeah, he never ever stopped shooting because he was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
No. Look, we all agree he probably should have shot. He had two actually. He should have shot. One tried over dribble. Not sure why he took an additional touch, and then one tried to cross. But Saka, you guys haven't talked about the chance that Saka missed. Saka gets so much pass.
I think we did. I thought you was watching the stream. We did talk about it.
His conversion rate was 14%.
Yeah,
he might as well don't have a conversion rate. He has no right for he's a footballer. He's played 100 Premier League games. I want to hear the young argument anymore. 100 Premier League games is a lot of games to play. Now, I agree, maybe 40% of those, 30% were not in the forward. He was playing wing back a lot of the times. But he has to start get a right foot. He's playing on the right. And he has to start thinking about how I get composure in front of goal. I get myself, because he's not in the position to score. That's part of his problem.
Yeah, Bertram, I think 10 minutes ago you might have missed the fact that I brought that up when I was talking about midfielders can't hit the target properly, bottom left, bottom right. Smith-Rowe has that ability. Yeah. Saka seems to be hitting it continuously in the middle of the goal, which is what younger players do when they don't have the confidence. And I said to Neomis and Tony that there doesn't seem to be any skill in our shooting. There doesn't seem to be any technique. It's just hit the ball and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's really bad, actually. We have scored, 21 goals and give up 22? Something around that range, which for a team in 5th place, that's not a good look. That's a really bad, 5th or 6th place, wherever we are. I think we're behind us, but they have 2 games in hand. But I'm just saying, it's not a good look when you haven't scored more goals than you have given up when you're that high up the table. So the question is it the midfield? Is it the forward line? Why can't we score more goals? Or because we're only giving up 1.3 so goals a game? Not a ton. Probably too much, frankly. Probably should be around 1, frankly. Chelsea's getting up 0.5 or whatever the number is. So we have to do a better job of defending as a team, not necessarily defense. But I think we have 5 good defenders, right? Put Tavares in there. 5 good defenders. Our midfield is, I don't know if our midfield is weak or is who we are playing. No. Is it who we are playing? So if you play Lakanga and Maitland-Niles, they're still not world class, but they have more legs than Partey and Xhaka.
Yeah.
I think if 1 out of 2 is weak, then it's weak.
Yeah.
You have to go with the lowest common
But we have 2 weak ones in there now, because Partey's playing weak.
Because it's like saying you've got Bruno Fernandes at Man United, who going forward looks like a dream, but going backwards, he's a susceptible player and obviously nothing.
Nightmare going backwards.
Yeah. So you always default.
Yeah. So midfield is not the best, but also Saka has to score more goals. We cannot afford a winger to have 2 goals in 16 games. That doesn't work.
Correct.
Smith-Rowe has 4. Odegaard now has 4, right? Alba's got 4, but only 2 from open play, and Alba is not scoring either. He's only have 2 goals from open play. He got 2 penalties in the mix.
I think Smith Rowe's got 6 goals this season.
No, I'm talking about the Premier League. You know what I'm
Premier
calling
League. Yeah.
I want to call Premier League, by the way. That's why I count Pepe's 10 goals from last year in the Premier League. A lot of goals for us. And also, I think the reason why he plays Saka versus Pepe, because Pepe turns the ball over a lot.
They all do.
Because he's on the right. No,
it doesn't matter where he is. He stops the ball and turns it over. With Pepe's ability, no defender should take the ball off him. I watched my favorite player from
today
play, and the one thing he doesn't do like Pepe, he doesn't turn the ball as much Pepe does, and he has no help. He dribbled against 6-7 men and still not turning the ball over. Pepe with skills. I know. Give me a hard time.
I got to give credit to your man today. I have said a lot of things about him, but today he was exceptional.
He has the ball and you have people around him. It's a joke, right? It's a joke. It's like, okay, guys, let's go on a ride. I'm going to take you on a ride with me, and let's see. They can't touch the ball. Yeah. And I would like to see him on a better team, because we talk about Zaha too, Tony. I'm not sure how you look at a better team, because you won't have as much time to dribble. You have to pass more, like a Grealish at Man City. Not working out so far. So I'm not sure how that works, but if you have him on his team, think about it. And he's beating 3-4 people and laying the ball off to you. Hopefully he lays it off. You have a lot of room to maneuver.
Question.
And so, look, go ahead.
Before you go on, Zaha. So Zaha is now in the last 2 years of his contract. At the end of the season, he'll have 1 year left. Do you think we should still go after him?
No.
Even for a reasonable price.
Ship has passed. No. Saint Maximin, yes. I hear me say I'm a Saint Maximin believer. I watch him every week. And I'm telling you, you give that kid some more help. You give him some more help, and it's a nightmare. First of all, I enjoy his football. There's one thing I'm gonna enjoy my football. He picks the ball up, I get out of my seat.
The only person that disagrees with him is Vincey. Vincey calls him St. Minimum.
No,
he does.
Tony, he has a shot too, Tony. He has a shot. He also has a shot.
I normally give him a hard time, but do you know what? He's playing his own game, and it's like I watched him today, and I was like, you know what? This kid's entertaining, but I just know nothing's going to come at the end of it, and it's just because he's in such a poor team.
It's a terrible team.
He's playing on his own.
Yes, it's a terrible team. Terrible team. I want to see him in a better team. Like, we pursued him, right? Way back when. He didn't come to us. He stayed in France. So we must have saw something we liked. At least you'd think so. But he's not going to leave Newcastle now because they have money, and why would he go? They're going to give him a lot of money to stay, frankly. We'll see how that works out. But just in terms of the grading, I'm fine with most of the. I think Odegaard is at 8, frankly. I mean, he scored a gain, which is what we've all talked about. He wasn't scoring. He only scored 1 last season in the Premier League. Martinelli. So here's the difference between Saka and Martinelli. Martinelli stands you up like Sterling does and says, let's go for a race. We're going down the line, you and I. If I get to the line before you, I'm going to cross it in. Now, Saka does stop it. He doesn't lose it a lot in the last few games. He stops it. He's looking, where should I go? Should I take you on? So it's a much more cerebral way of playing in a sense. But we also got to give him more support because sometimes he has 2 and 3 people and he's not getting the immediate help. Yasu stay back most time. He's not like a Tierney running on the wing to draw a defender with him. So Arteta got to figure out how he plays the team balance. He has an inverted team where when he plays Smith Rowe at left, he moves him inside. He moves Tierney around him. He rotates Xhaka over to cover. He's not doing the same with Yasu. He's playing Yasu as a traditional right back.
Yeah.
Does that help Saka? Or does he think that Saka is better on his own of trying to create something? I don't know. But it was a brilliant assist to Lacazette yesterday. That was perfect. I actually scored a goal like that, Tony. I have it on tape. One time in the corner. It's brilliant. I love those. We take it on the you get it, you hit it, it's sweet, you're happy. So no, it's a good win. It's a good win. Here's the thing though. West Ham on Wednesday is a different kettle of fish. They haven't played well their last 2 games.
They draw today 0-0.
And frankly, they're missing something in their team. Not sure what they're missing. They're missing something. So the question for us is, who's going to dominate the midfield? And will Antonio bully Ben White? Because they're going to put him on Ben White. Will he bully Ben White like Tony did in the first game? Or is Ben White getting more seasoned, more mature as the season progresses? or do we give him some more help with someone else like Yasu coming over? Because the other kid who plays, what's the kid? The left footer for West Ham. He's a dangerous player too.
Souček.
No, not Souček.
Lanzini.
No,
Bowen.
Bowen.
Yeah.
Bowen can be a dangerous player. He's playing well, actually. I saw Southgate at the game, probably watching him, frankly. He's playing well. So the question is, who will dominate the midfield? Because our midfield needs... I don't know why Arteta not playing Lacazette. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
We got to outnumber them in the midfield. That's the only way. Because we don't have the bodies to do it. We can't go man for man.
They're a grown-up team, you know. They're a grown-up team.
Yeah.
They're really
I know.
big,
They're a big man team.
Physical, big man team.
Been playing together for a long time as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So listen, I was going to have a look at the league table, but to talk about the goal difference, but not really that important. We just need to score more goals. As simple as that. Guys, question: has Aubameyang played his last game? Now, yesterday's events. As you guys, I mentioned it on the forum that I knew kind of what was going on well beforehand because of my inside man. Big shout out to you. You know who you are watching it. A lot of you guys already know who it is because I've showed you pictures and talked about it before. But yes, he's my cousin. But the biggest issue is that regardless of what happened, and it had a lot to do with a lot of various different things, lateness, not being back on time, missing a scheduled COVID test, things like that, which is quite important to the logistics of the team. And when you're the captain, you should be first in, last out. We all know that. It doesn't matter whether it's football, don't matter whether it's baseball, basketball, cricket, don't matter what sport it is. If you're the captain, you should be leading by example because you've got the youngest team in the league looking at you, looking at everything you do, trying to learn how winners, or what I normally say from work, look at what good looks like as a template. And I've mentioned it many times before. Arteta's job in there is to also change the culture. And he's on this thing. And he's not, Arteta's like a dog with a bone. He is not going to let go. So this could be the beginning of the end. I'm not saying it is. A lot of people out there saying it is. I'm saying it could be.
So follow.
But what's your thoughts on Aubameyang?
So Aubameyang just gave Arteta a free card yesterday. He was going to do this anyway. It made it easy for him. What he did just made it easy. Secondly, if this was a year and a half ago, would this have happened? So here's what people don't realize, actually. When you're not playing well, it makes it much easier to make certain decisions, right? The way I've heard about Abba, this is not the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth time. Tuchel sort of referred to that, frankly, when he played before and how you treat him. And there's a view, I heard Martinelli saying this, I think it's on TalkSport, which is certain exceptional players get privileges, right? So I don't think this is unique or a one-off situation. But if you're not playing well, you won't be afforded that ability to do certain things, which is not in conformity with how the team wants to operate. And so frankly, I'm going to bench him anyway.
So Bertram, I'll let you come back into this, but I have to just change what you just said there because it did happen last year against Spurs.
I know. Last year, he wasn't playing well.
So this is a reoccurring issue.
He wasn't playing well last year.
Yeah. And he was.
When you're not playing well, if you were scoring every game, people would have lost their mind if he got benched. Yeah. Last year there was some pushback, but he wasn't playing well when he played Spurs. If he was hitting the goals he was when we won the FA Cup, people would have lost their mind. And frankly, here's another question, guys. There's a theme around Arteta. So we don't disagree about Abba and how Abba operates, right? Abba will be in the media space when he scores, and when he doesn't score, he goes south someplace. But it does beg the question, when you think about all these situations with Arteta, was the culture that bad? Or is Arteta a young manager trying to stamp his authority and making examples of a lot of players?
It's both. It's definitely, and I could tell, I know when I know. And the culture was horrendous. The players were taking the ultimate piss. And I'm not the only person who got that news on the inside. A lot of people in the media were told about how bad things was at inside of the training ground. But I also think that what you've just said plays a part into it too. I've pulled him up a lot about Saliba, Guendouzi, Torreira, about Ozil, yeah, little things which he could have been more in control of, and then he wasn't. You can take the Maitland-Niles situation. I talked to Neomis about this last week. Maitland-Niles is a situation where you are my player, but the fact that you had to go on Instagram and say what you said is my fault. As your manager, I'm there to empower you. If you're having to do that in social media, that's my fault, because I've made it uncomfortable for you to come to talk to me in my office. So Arteta has to take that on board. And I'm only speaking as a manager myself, that is a situation as a manager that you have to blame yourself for, because you haven't given the player the ability to come to you and explain and talk about what his issues are. That is definitely a one-to-one issue so I think it's a little bit of both, in my opinion.
Yeah, and does he think he's Pep? He hasn't won. He has only won an FA Cup, because Pep will be a dictator, right? Because he can afford. He's been allowed to be a dictator because of his success. If it's tried and tested and it's worked, then people give him allowance for being that way he is. But as Arteta earned that right to operate that way?
I don't think he has earned that right, but I do think that he is not Pep and he's not Wenger. And both of those managers have said Arteta's had this since he was in the academy in Bath. He's just been a natural born leader, but every manager has taken a little bit of inspiration from somebody, and he is, his template is based around those managers he's been around, including the situations he's had when Terry Venables was in Barcelona. He's talked about taking inspiration from a lot of managers, but what Arteta is doing is solemnly Arteta. This is it. This is him. But I actually agree with your point about Pep. I think sometimes Arteta has not earned the right to make some of the decisions and do some of the things that he has. Before I go into the Aubameyang thing, Vincey, I just want to say welcome. Can I get your opinion on the Southampton game? And did you want to do your player ratings?
Nah. I don't think it's fair for me to do ratings, man. I only saw about 20, 30 minutes of it. But I
enjoyed the game yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Pepe looked fit when he came on and ran. And, that just looked, I mean, it's just great to see. You didn't get a card.
You didn't see the game, did you? You didn't see the game.
He didn't get a card for running on, man. He was just allowed to run, and it's just good to see. Martinelli running free. There's just hope. There's hope for the rest of the players on the team, man. It's look, even Sambi, and he's one card away from getting a suspension, and he got one. So you know what I mean? It's like there is hope. The Africans Cup of Nations can't come soon enough for some of the players.
Yeah.
But it's going to be testing time for us as fans, because some players are going to get the limelight, and we see how we go. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to bounce back. 3 goals. Ramsdale, man of the match again. Shows a lot. If he didn't pull off them saves, boy, oh boy, oh boy. But, I mean, we live to fight. We earned the right to win. 3-0. Next game, man. Move on.
So, guys, Aubameyang, has he played his last game? Let me go over to Neomis. Neomis, what's your thoughts on this whole thing? Are you done with it? Do you just want to move on now?
I'm ready to end the kind of Aubameyang experiment. Do I think it's his last game? No. But I know in the summer, like, if Aubameyang wants to leave, fine. And this is why, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, Arsenal are going to have complete reconstructive surgery on their whole forward line, including the bench. Because really and truly, when you think about it, it's Aubameyang, Lacazette can go, Nketiah, and Pepe could all go. 4 guys that are really kind of our main goal threats. And at some point, at least based on what we've seen so far, they're all going to need to be replaced. So I'm a little bit excited. I want to. This is an opportunity for Arteta to put his stamp on this team. And if it means that Aubameyang's played his last game, it would be sad, because I think that he's had lots of good moments. But yeah, on to the next. It's not as though Aubameyang has been like the best player for us so far. And yeah, I just think that at the moment, let's make sure we qualify for Europe, get some type of European football going, which for me is a must. If we can do that, then I know that the future will look bright for Arsenal. So for me, I honestly, I don't mind. But if it is, you can say thank you for the memories, but goodbye.
Tony, has Aubameyang played his last game for Arsenal?
Like Naomi said, I don't believe this is his last game, but I would be happy to see the end of him. I've had enough of him. And, you know, he's not a captain. He's not nowhere near the player that he was at Dortmund. He's not the player that he was the first and second season he came here. He's a liability. Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. January transfer window. You know, look, I don't believe there's a club in the world that would pay him 300 grand a week for what he's doing currently. So I don't see any club buying him, even if he was to say cut the price to like some stupid like 5 million, because you still got to pay his wages. So I think we're kind of stuck in that untenable situation where, you know, once again, Arsenal have got players who are just going to run their contract down and rinse out the club of money, and we're going to get nothing back.
Yeah. Bertram, what's your? I think you was beginning to give your thoughts on it. I don't think he's played his last game, but I think this is the beginning and the end for him. What's your thoughts, Bertram?
Well, it's very unique that a player making 350 a year and a half into his last contract is in the same situation as the previous player who was also being paid 350. A year and a half into his contract, he was at the same point, an inflection point, which is where do we go with the player? Not producing as he should, is becoming a distraction, a senior player in the team. I'm not sure where you go with it. I've said this, and Tony and I have been beating this drum for a while. He's not been producing. And this is a results business. If you're not producing, no matter how much you make, you're a liability. In fact, you're a real liability, because you're making 350. So that goes against my books. And you're an expense that's not generating any revenues in terms of goals on the field or assists on the field or helping my team win. So I'm not sure what we do. I get the sense. I don't see him come back to the team anytime soon. Because it's very obvious, guys, that if he doesn't score goals, he's a liability. And he's only scored 2 goals from open play today, and when he played about 11, 12 games so far. And he was out for a couple of games beginning of the season. He didn't start the last game, but he's becoming a distraction. And you're afforded certain privileges I mentioned before. You get certain privileges when you are producing and when you're deemed to be valuable or invaluable. When you stop producing, those privileges go away. Coach have no tolerance. So coach are judged based on outcome and performance. And right now, he's not performing. And it's a sustained lull in his performance. It's not like it's 1, 2 games. It's a season and a half. So how long, say if your footballing life is 12, 13 years, a season and a half is a long time for not producing. And at the tail end of your career, it only exacerbates that situation. So I'm not sure where we go from here. I don't think it's his last game, but I think he's going to be phased out over time if things keep on going away. Because I think he's a very sensitive person who sulks, frankly. And even supporters like AFTV are now saying, things which are not positive for him. And if the fans turn against you and management turn against you, there's no way back. So hopefully he's coming out of lazy. He's not lazy like lazy, but lazy was a better footballer.
Yeah, them guys at AFTV, you can always count on them to turn against the players when they're ready, man. You can always count.
Oh no, they support him actually because some of them are friends with him. You can tell, and people like Robbie supported him, but now they're saying, but again, they're fans who want production. Fans don't, fans are not thinking about when a player go away. You really think about them afterwards. You're like, what? Who's playing? Next up, that's how we think. We want our own pleasure. We want outcome to be favorable to us. We're not thinking about them and their family life and their challenges. We just want to see them produce on the field.
Vinci,
you're disposable.
Vincent, do you think he's played his last game? What do you think? What's going to happen with the future with this guy now?
No, he hasn't played his last game. We're paying him too much money. That's the first thing. I can see. I think the timing you've got to look at it is whether or not he plays in the League Cup. Yeah, it's a few weeks from now. So, Lacazette, Martinelli, and Nketiah, they're going to be the strike force moving forward in the league. If they hit it off, 9 out of 10 chances, you likely see Aubameyang come back in the League Cup against Sunderland. If not, you've got to think about it. Well, obviously, you've got the African nations coming up. So there's a good time to not play Aubameyang until he comes back. So we just got to watch his space, see how the strikers perform. I think Arteta's got that in the back of his mind. And, if they do perform, or even if he wants to punish Aubameyang, the chances are he can quite easily bring him back for that League Cup game and send him off to the Cup of Nations.
So Vincey, who gets the captain armband now? I mean, obviously Ben White, Gabriel, Ramsdale, Lacazette, Tierney. Who gets the armband? It's just going to be one in, one out, because at the moment Laka gets it when Aubameyang's not there.
Well, this is the problem with Arsenal. I've been saying this for quite a few seasons. It's a mockery the way how we're treating that armband. It gets passed around like as if, well, it can't fit me. It may fit you, look better on your arm, got more muscles, pass it around. There's just foolishness going on right now, and I don't like it. But all those names up there, your favourite player who you love to talk about, but not mention his name, he'll get a chance of wearing it as well. So,
oh, God.
So, this is what Arsenal does. This is what Arteta does. The armband gets passed around, and whoever, jumps high enough is probably going to wear it for match day, and then it'll just get passed around when it gets substituted.
And if that does happen, by the way, where he who shall not be named becomes the captain of the team, that is all the help you've done to get the fans on board and the fan support. You'd have just destroyed that in one move. They must know, their marketing department and their administration department must know how the fan base feels about their players. And when he came off, when he got subbed off, boy, you guys wanted to hear the Emirates. It is not a nice place for this player, man. But anyway, I digress. I've always been an advocate of Ben White. I think Ben White should be given an armband, and that's the end of it. I think that this, moving forward, I've never been a fan of giving a goalkeeper an armband. Well, as much as I like Aaron Ramsdale, and believe me, I love the guy, I just don't see it. Tierney, never really been sold on him, and Arteta didn't buy him. And to me, sorry, Tavares is a better player.
But one thing though, Apollo, he has worn the armband since he was stripped of it.
I know.
So the way Arteta, you've got to look at his tendencies. It's only going to be a matter of time. He don't care what the fans feel.
Yeah,
Arteta.
it's a disgrace.
He needs to sign. He wants to sign Laka for an additional year. He give it to Laka. Encourage him to sign, just like he gave to Aubameyang to encourage him to sign. It's an incentive.
Yeah. It is. That is a perfect incentive, because this works so many other times before.
Laka is a senior player in the team, right? I think he give it to Laka. Didn't Laka have it the last game?
Laka will wear it until he.
No,
he's don't give it to Laka.
Until he's subbed.
Yeah, he did. Next day, Laka would be
it's a crazy move, and it's a backward step for a club that's building for the future.
Yeah, I agree. Neomis, who gets a captain armband?
For me, I'd give it to Laka, because he's the one that's most likely going to play. Like you, I'm not a fan of giving captaincies to goalkeepers, which is the only reason why I wouldn't give Ramsdale one. Third on that, which would have to be Tierney. Then, for me, Laka was the one that gets it. I do think Xhaka will be the one to get it next. To be really honest, I think Xhaka is his guy. I think Xhaka came in from an injury into the side straight away. Tierney hasn't been playing for must be like a month, and he was taken off after about 70 minutes.
I feel every time you lot mention his name, I feel like I've just woken up into an apocalypse. I mean, 3 weeks ago,
coronavirus is here. You probably have woken up into an apocalypse.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, we were on a 10-game unbeaten run. Our young players were thriving. We had Tavares, game in, game out, Sambi, game in, game out. Everything looked good. The future was bright. And it's almost as like I've woken up and it's a post-apocalyptic world I'm living in now. Everything's just destroyed. Xhaka's the captain. Everything. I mean, this is as bad as it gets. This is if that happens, they would just destroy everything they've worked hard to achieve this season. Tony?
Okay, so I'm a little bit shocked that you haven't thrown this guy's name into the hat because he's the captain of his country.
Oh, Odegaard.
Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, the only reason why... it's a good shout. It's a good shout.
I can understand not giving it to the goalkeeper, although he's our best player. And he's the one player, you know, I'm a lock. Yeah? As far as I'm concerned, the captain is a lock. The captain has to be a lock. I don't understand how you have a captain and he can't be the first name on the team sheet.
That's why I wouldn't choose Tierney, because Tierney wasn't bought by Arteta.
That is why I wouldn't choose Tierney as well. Exactly the same reason. Yeah. Ramsdale is a lock. Lacazette is not a lock.
Yeah, I agree.
Gabriel is a lock. White is a lock. So those are your candidates.
Yeah. Build your team around them. Build your team
for the next decade. For the next 10 years. Bertram.
I think captaincy in football is overrated. That's just me. It's not cricket. Cricket captain has to make a ton of decisions. I think it's overrated in football.
It's not.
Bertram, I have never listened to my captain when he was talking on the football field. I'm gonna do my own thing.
I know he's very romantic, to say, but Thierry Henry was the captain, and Patrick
Vieira, Tony Adams.
Tony, I follow. It sounds wonderful. You're the captain.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Look at Italy in the European finals.
Yeah.
Their captain was their captain.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, to a man, they had brilliant players on that pitch, but their captain, bruv, Chiellini, he was the man.
So who's the man for Liverpool?
Everything, even in the final.
Who's the man? Wait. Who's the man for Liverpool? Who's the man for Chelsea? Who's the man for Chelsea? Who's the man for Liverpool? Who's the man for Man City? No, I'm asking you guys questions. You're talking about the man.
Henderson for Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah, Jordan Henderson.
But the best player. Wait. But is Henderson not the best player for Liverpool?
We didn't say best player.
Liverpool goals, Salah goals, and how what's his name goes? The left center defender. They are the ones who go. As they go, Liverpool goes. It's not go Henderson goes. They can drive past Henderson. They drive past Henderson.
Let's be honest. The real captain of Liverpool is Van Dijk. Let's be honest.
Yes, exactly. But he's not the one wearing the armband. So it goes to my point. The best teams, I don't necessarily is the best player who drives that team. They flow off that player, right? They get the energy from that player. The way he goes, it motivates them. He's going to do like Messi played for Barcelona. That's how drives you. When he wasn't the captain at one point.
So Bertram, are you trying to say that Pepe should be our captain then?
I was just about to say.
Are you trying to say that Pepe should be our captain?
Maybe you get more game time. Maybe you get more game time.
Listen, you're talking about Smith Rowe now, as well as Odegaard. You're talking about Smith Rowe.
No, but here's the thing: all the players you guys are talking about, White, Gabriel, Ramsdale, Smith Rowe, Tierney, Odegaard. You say like they're all new young players just trying to cut their teeth. They're new to the environment. If you want to use captain and someone's going to rally and bring it together, you go listen. Because if I'm Tierney and I feel I'm good as White, I'm listening to you. I mean, it's the Lacazette. He's been there. He's done that. He's an old head. He's mature. He's seasoned.
Bertram, you forget. You forget when
Ben White, Tony.
Bertram, you forget when Arsenal gave Tony Adams the captaincy. How young he was.
Yeah.
This is 2021, guys. 2021.
Them credentials that Adams had. Even when he
YouTubers
went
are
to play for
replacing traditional
England.
media. The world has changed. YouTubers are replacing traditional media. The world has changed from where it was before. Not the same world anymore. Totally different world.
I have to say,
let me tell you something though. Football is still football, because remember this: even though we've got VAR and goal line technology, the game is still the same.
No, Tony.
As it was 108 years ago.
No, Tony. Goalkeepers couldn't play football, Tony. Tony, goalkeepers couldn't play football. Let me tell you a change. Let me tell you a change. Let me tell you a change, Tony.
Can't handle it outside the box.
Wait, let me tell you Tony's change. Wait, guys. The goalkeeper play football in your days, Tony, when you're playing regularly. The goalkeeper play football.
Grobbelaar did.
The goalkeeper has to play football.
But he wasn't allowed to.
But Vince, you say it hasn't changed. But I'm getting to my point. Was goalkeeper have to play football today? Where they know how to kick a ball. They stumble over their foot.
Do you know, Bertram, let me see if you know football. Do you know who the greatest goalkeeper captain ever was?
For who?
Don't matter for who. Who, in your opinion, has been the greatest international goalkeeper in the World Cup?
The Italian.
Dino Zoff, 1982. Greatest goalkeeper, greatest captain in that respect. Look at Vince. Vince is smiling.
I'm trying to think about if that's truly the case, actually.
You could shout Yev Lashin, but he never won the World Cup.
Did you know as well he was over 40 years old?
Yes, I did.
He was old.
Yeah.
But
Bertram, you got to think about it.
Goalkeeper can't be my captain.
The rules have changed. Chesney would have been great. You know what I mean? But it was a different era. It was a different era, man.
By the way, Tony,
it hasn't changed that much.
Chesney has won the league he has played in. He ain't the same thing.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, but Chesney has won the league more than once, frankly.
Yeah, so was Aaron Ramsey, isn't it? Ramsey.
And by the way, he replaced a legend for his team.
Aaron Ramsey
and won
Aaron Ramsey can't even get on the pitch, and he's won a title.
No, but the point I'm making, guys, is that look, the captaincy is a representative of the club. He's the face of the club in a lot of instances. In today's football, he doesn't have to be the best player, but he has to be a leader and someone to look up to and can represent the organization, have the right temperament. And that was never Abba.
That was never Xhaka.
Abba got the captaincy to sign the thing, as Apollo used to say. And he signed the thing, but he was never a leader. The leader don't come to games late. The leader is not flashy. The leader is reserved and not obvious except on the field. So it's unfortunate where Abba has ended up. Let's hope he recovers his form. He's scoring goals. I'm not optimistic because we don't have the midfielders to give him all these chances on a platter. That's another thing too. We don't have the midfielders with the creativity. Odegaard may get that at some point.
We do. We're just not playing them.
So what does that say about, all these names that we're hearing about captaincies and parties names not even mentioned as a
He's
captain?
36, Vince. He's 36. He's 36. He's on the retirement track himself.
Unbelievable.
I can't give it to a 36-year-old Vince.
He
has the presence, though, by the way, guys. If he was last year, you'd be thinking about it, right? Before he got injured, he was playing well, he was dominant, right? But his legs, I'm telling you, he's 36. I looked at him a couple of times. I'm like, he can't even less than 36. The way he's running, his leg take a while to lift his leg up. I tell you, if his leg up, the player passed him already.
Yeah,
he can't run.
Man.
Concerning, man. Yeah, I think Arteta's got a problem there because, Tomiyasu, he looks solid, but again, he's new in a team. So, you look and you think, we expect Arteta to pick somebody who's going to build his team around. And we just have no idea right now.
But I think we have 6 defenders. Like, here's the thing I view this. To me, our defense is set. We probably need a backup right back. We have a backup left back. We're going to have Saliba back next year. Hopefully he comes and there's no issues around how we engage with the manager. We'll have 8 good defenders. Rob Holding is decent enough. 8 good defenders, so that's set. We need a backup goalkeeper. more longer-term backup goalkeeper who actually accepts being a backup. We got to fix
Not
our
happening.
midfield.
He's gone, man. He's gone.
Yeah,
we said we need one. I said no because we know he's gone.
Yeah.
So we need a backup goalkeeper who accepts being a backup, right? And then we need to fix the midfield.
I think we need to fix the midfield first. Don't worry about the backup right back because you've got.
No, I'm saying what our needs are. We need to fix the midfield. We need to fix the midfield right now.
Yeah.
We need to fix the midfield.
Midfield is the biggest problem, man.
The kid from Portugal, what's his name? Was at Swansea and he went to Bayern and came back to France.
Renato Sanchez.
The question is, I watched him in the Euro, but I don't like to watch international football as a barometer. He's getting a lot of kudos and view that he's the man. I'm not sure if he is. I think he's a physical player. I'm not sure he is.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's even space in this Arsenal side for whereby Arteta and Edu are thinking about rejuvenating the midfield? Because Xhaka's not going anywhere, and apart from El Nene, like
no, Xhaka's gonna leave. No, you bring somebody to take Xhaka. Xhaka will not sit on the bench, guys.
No, Xhaka's gonna start.
Xhaka's gonna leave. He's gonna walk out the club. I'm telling you, he's not staying.
No, I mean, Bertram, Xhaka started. Like Xhaka's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but Lacazette is young. No, Lacazette is young. Maitland and Nas not built to have the same capability. If you bring in Sanchez, if you're bringing in someone who is capable enough to play with Partey, like a Basuma or Renato, I'm telling you, they replace Xhaka, Xhaka's going to leave.
I agree that those players are good enough. I just don't think Arteta and Edu will do it.
I think the only reason.
Neil must remember, Arteta and Edu are the only managers in the last 15 years to actually bring a spine into the team. So I definitely trust them that they'll do that.
The question is, will they need to replace Partey? That's the question.
Well, considering what you just said there, Bertram, you think that Xhaka would leave. I think the only way he leaves is if he has a good World Cup and someone puts a bid in. Because at the end of the day, yes, we got him to sign a 4-year contract, but he was going out the door. So if they have a good World Cup,
Vincey, he never plays bad internationally. He doesn't have bad games internationally. Never.
Yeah, we tried that at Vincey at the Euros and it didn't work.
No, but
he had an excellent Euros.
He never.
Yeah, but we were desperate. We were desperate in midfield. Why he was forced to sign him, didn't he?
Yeah, it's really holding us back.
But Vincey, you watch him in the Euros. He never has a bad game for Switzerland.
That's what I'm saying.
He don't get to the teams. He plays well.
Yes, international games are a lot slower, guys.
Yeah,
international games are a lot slower.
Agreed.
Okay, guys. So closing comments, guys. Neil, Miss, closing comments. So, what's your projection really for West Ham? What are you expecting? I got to be honest with you. I'm not expecting much. I think it'll probably be 1-1. Based on West Ham's current form, today they played Burnley. Burnley was all over them. Very strange because this West Ham team travels really well, as we know from Liverpool, as we know from their successes against the top team. So I have no idea what's going on with them at the moment. I'm probably going to talk to Ian tomorrow and find out where his head's at. But they're not playing well at the moment away from home. So I might see a 1-1 draw there. But if West Ham turn up, we're going to get overrun easily.
For me, this has always been a must not lose game. I'm not putting form into it. For me, this is West Ham are one of the teams that are around us that when I was calculating how many points we could finish at the end of the season, they are one of 6 other teams that we're competing with, that if we just get draws home and away and we beat the teams the other 9 teams that are below us and we take losses against the top 4 from last season, that we could finish with a good amount of points, maybe sneaking into the top 4, but most likely 5th or 6th, or maybe even 7th.
You do realize if we beat West Ham, we could be top 4.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah,
but I don't think we're going to beat them. I don't. No, it's just that with some of the games that we have coming up, I know we got Leeds, but for me, Wolves I think will be a tough one. But if at the very least if we get a point out of this puts us on a very, very good run, a very good track to where for me because when we get to that 19th game halfway in the season, or at the very least after the Wolves game and you take out the Norwich game, then we could really start to see where Arsenal are. And I like where we are right now. If you look at the table, there is a bit of a gap starting to form between the top 7 and 8th and below. There's a 5-point difference right now. So
that's a good point. That's a good point.
So if we continue just like, it doesn't have to be a win. Let's get at least a point. Let's keep going, keep it churning. We're going to face Leeds. We're going to beat Leeds. We pick up a draw against Wolves, and we put ourselves in a great set. So then we could start to get away from that pack. We know we'll qualify for Europe. We just don't know what competition we'll qualify for. And for me, that's a good thing, because at the bare minimum, that will show progression to the end of the season. So for me, it's a draw against West Ham.
Yeah, I think it'll be a draw, but my heart tells me a draw, but my head says we're going to lose 2-1. Tony, where do you see West Ham? What do you see happening on Wednesday?
I sadly see it as a loss, because I think their intensity is just too strong for us. Look, we're Arsenal fans. We live, breathe, and we'll die Arsenal fans. So we are always optimistic. But I have no expectation for us to win this game. But we're at home, and we can give anybody a game at home. But once again, this boils down to the manager. What does he put out on that pitch? When you look at some of the games and you go, what kind of stupidness is this man doing? That's what you're always faced with. Every game, I'm like, oh, what is this fool gonna put out today? You've got players who are in form. The statistics show it. And you're benching them. And you're putting waste man on the pitch. And that, for me, is the reason that I personally have no faith in the man. And I'll leave it there.
I'm coming back with you guys in a second. Bertram, what's your thoughts on the West Ham game? You going for a loss as well?
I actually don't know, because the problem we have is they're adults. They're actually men. You have a bunch of kids. You have some men in the team, but they're not playing like men. So it makes it very difficult. Our midfield are playing that way. And they have a good midfield between Soucek and Rice, who play well against almost all teams. They have played really well against the better teams, frankly. I think they've dropped off against the lesser team and played well against the better team. So the question is, if they play almost like a low block type game, and we can't penetrate and get through the lines, how will that work out for us? Right? Southampton played up on us and gave us room. Will they be in our faces? Will they stay deep? And how will that affect the game? I'm gonna go for a draw, actually. Maybe that's optimistic on my part, but I'm gonna go for 2-2, actually. I think they'll score more than 1 against us. Somehow the middle of our midfield is just not strong defensively. They get a chance to go to our defense. And I keep talking about how Ben White hesitates. And I watched him against Ivan Toney. It wasn't pretty. I want to see him against Antonio. But I do expect that we'll give them a good game. And I hope Partey gets some youth in this game. Drink some ginseng or whatever you need to drink, Partey. Drink something to give you some strength. Because he's playing old.
Some garlic, honey, turmeric, ginger.
Something. Drink something to give you that energy. Because we know you have the ability. We're just not seeing it. But it's going to be a tough game for us. A physical game, a tough game. And the thing I don't like too, Xhaka doesn't play well against physicality.
No, he
teams sometimes rough him up, and he doesn't handle it well, right? Because he's still slight. I think Martinelli will do okay, but I think he's going to play the same team he played. I don't know where ESR gets into this mix. It's going to be an interesting one, given that the team played well on Saturday, generally speaking. So where does ESR fit in?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, because it might let him come on as a sub, or Martinelli will be benched, which is a shame.
No, I don't think it'll be. Martinelli running is infectious. Martinelli doesn't stop running, and he runs hard, sometimes foolishly, because he doesn't look for his support when he go press. But you need that energy, especially against West Ham, who are better physical and who take no prisoners. So I'll have to take the game because I'm actually working. I'm in the office on Wednesday. I was going to bring my iPad, but I'm not going to do that.
We can do
it. I'll take the game and turn everything off so I can't watch anything or hear anything. Come home, get my little cocoon, watch it, and then have my view.
So Bertram, if you want to do the stream late, then I can do that because I won't be back from the Emirates until about 10:30 anyway. UK
No,
time.
by the time you do it, I get home like 7. Frankly, I take the bus from work.
Oh
now.
damn! Okay.
And then I watch the game for 2 hours, so that takes me up to like 9, 10 o'clock. So I can't do it.
So Vincey, I'm gonna go to you, but Tony was talking about our home form. You guys are probably surprised to see that Arsenal have the second best record at home. 8 games, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Let in 6 goals, scored 15. Only Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea and West Ham have scored more goals.
Apollo, I'm sorry, Vince didn't say this, Apollo. If they're so favorable at home, I hate to see the away stats. It must be awful.
Yeah, well, well, we're playing at home, so. But I have to say, not only that, Tony's frozen. The reason why Tony's frozen is because even I have just come to the realization that we aren't second. We're actually tied on points with Man City for the most points, home points in the league. Oh my God!
We're doing a Wenger.
That's the fixtures, man. It's all about the fixtures.
Don't say the fixtures, please. Don't do that.
Hey, listen, man.
Please don't. We have beat Liverpool. We have beat Man City with the fixtures. Listen, by next week,
some of the teams we played away, we played at home. Yeah, I'm not seeing 6.
Just look at the score table.
In the next 3 games, we'd have played the same amount of teams and the same quality of teams as everybody else.
At home.
No, you can see home here. We've got the likes of Everton just beat us away. Man United just beat us away. Liverpool beat us away. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Man City beat us away.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. You're proving his point.
That's what I'm saying.
Better teams beat us away. So our record is favorable because we're not playing the better teams. Yeah.
So we have to play all those teams at home. Our record against Man United at home is very good.
But not Man City or Liverpool.
No, but they're not our competition. They're not our rivals. They're not playing for 5th, 6th, and 4th.
Yeah, I know, but this is the home form. You know what I mean? This is home form. But
see, guys, hold on. This is where we are, guys, where we see a stat like this, and this is what frustrates me about, not just you guys, but about our fan base. We can't even applaud a stat like this. We can't be proud of something like this.
I have to take you up. Hello. What Vince is saying, and Vince is 100% right, which is bifurcate and decipher the home form and who you play, both away and home, and see does the home form reflect real progress and we are stalwart at home, or is it say we had some latitude because you know what, we're the better team. Liverpool, Man City, Man U, all top 4, close to top 4, we played them away. If we play them out, Man City and Liverpool at home, it's almost a loss, guaranteed.
But Bertram, why would that define us? Can't we just applaud the efforts of the team? Because in this league, Bertram, anyone can beat anybody. Any team can come. Any team can come to the Emirates. We were getting turned over last season by everybody at the Emirates,
and we still haven't played the better teams and win it at home. Still haven't.
But my point is, it's not about the better teams. This is the Premier League. You've got to play who you've got to play every single week, the same as everybody else.
So
last season, we were getting turned over at the Emirates by everybody.
You can't have it both ways, Apollo. You can't have it both ways. So here's the point.
We can't win.
Here's the point. So if we're saying, away record is atrocious because we play the better teams and we can't beat them at home, our home record won't be as favorable when they come to our place.
Yeah, I think that's for me. I think that's looking too deeply into it. And when you have a situation like you did last season where we weren't winning at home, what exactly do we call progress?
We were winning away. We were winning away.
This is progress. This is progress for the fans to experience now that fans are back in the stadium, for our fans to see us win 6 games, draw 1, and lose 1. That's for the fans. That's what fans want to pay to see. That's a plus, and that's why I give it applaud.
Because if we had this form last season, we'd have finished 6th.
But Apollo, when Ateta first joined us, we were all happy that, you know what, unlike under Wenger, we could never beat the top teams, he was holding his own against the top teams. That is now being reversed, where we can't compete with the top teams. Because when he first came and won the FA Cup, even in the league, we were holding against top teams, and sometimes away. That's not the case of the last year.
Yeah, maybe I'm a glass half empty type of guy, and I always look for the positives in every situation.
We need those. We need those perspectives.
So, guys, closing comments.
Well, you know, I was going to say, Bertram, you read my mind because I've done my fixtures about 5 weeks ago, and I had this down for as a 2-2. So, you know,
yeah, I'm with Tony. I think we're going to get turned over. I think it'd be 2-1 to West Ham. I just don't. I don't think we're.
Oh, you said we're almost unbeatable at home, Apollo. I can't follow you, you know.
And and I think it's that home form why there's going to be a draw. It's going to be a last minute something.
Bertram,
why it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, Bertram with that midfield. Sorry, sorry with that midfield.
No, just think about Odegaard and scoring goals. He scored 4 goals that I'm very, very happy about. Because it was not him last year for scoring 1 goal. He scored 4 goals. He get into position to score. And hope he continues.
He's the new Joe Willock.
You know what I think? Oh God!
All right, guys, listen. Sorry, go on. Finish off what you're saying, and then I'll close it out.
You know what I think? We saw Pepe come on for a 15-minute cameo. I think that was his warm-up for this game.
No,
I think I think this is it.
I thought it was 5 minute cameo.
This is it.
We get 15.
Come on, Pepe!
Guys, no word of a lie. I didn't see the whole of the second half, but did he touch the ball?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
He,
did.
he normally does.
He made a tackle. He broke up a.
I saw him running, but I didn't see.
He headed the ball, and he stopped one of the balls going on the left side. So
yeah, he stopped the counter attack. So, guys, I just want to thank each and every one of you. Today, I was really depressed. I did not want to talk to anybody. People was ringing my phone. I just left it. I wouldn't answer it. After last week, when my blood was boiling because of the Formula One, this week it just didn't get any better. I went to the NFL to go and cheer myself up and watch the Redskins. They went 18-0 down. I just turned that shit off. So thank you very much for making me smile on the stream. I'm going to go to bed with a smile on my face now.
I thought you said they won 4 in a row and you were happy. What happened?
What happened is we just got embarrassed, man. What happened is this Sunday, I said to my daughter, who's actually waiting for me to take her back to university, I said to my daughter, I wish I'd never woke up this morning, man.
Wow.
Wait, guys, hear this. The Dallas coach before the game guaranteed his team is going to win. If a coach does that, then he has no respect for the opposition.
I know, I know.
So,
all right, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'll speak to you guys soon. Wednesday, I'll talk to Lisa. If you guys want to do the live stream, let me know and I'll talk to Lisa.
all right.
And
Take
see
care,
if we
everyone.
can do something. All right, see you guys later, man.